Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anna Steinfest, and here with me today is my co-host, Dr. Michael Troyer. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Anna, and hello to all of our listeners. Welcome. Glad to have you back.
So today on Small Business Survival Conversations, we are going to talk about 3 ways to manage an overwhelming workload. I don't know, I think as a small business owners, we have workloads, overwhelming workloads every single day.
They never end. Why does our spouse get grumpy because we come home late for dinner? Because we have an overwhelming workload. Why do we wake up at 5:30 in the morning? Because we have an overwhelming workload. So the challenge for us is to figure out how to cope with this. And truly, there are days when I want to take off and go golf or go fishing because I just don't know where to start. It's just too much.
But it is crucial to make sure that you manage this for your survival. That's why we are going to talk about today, Michael. And what is the first way for our business owners to get out of this funk, I will say?
Yeah, that's the right word too. This sounds too simple for what we've talked about as being overwhelming, but we need to prioritize. Oh, no, not prioritizing. Yes, we need to prioritize. But let me give you an idea for doing that. What if we start with this? We'll make a long list of all the things that have got us overwhelmed, big and small. And then let's break it down to group A, group B, and group C. A, that's really critical in this crush of things. Group B, if I can get to it, would be great. Then group C, if I think about it, it could wait another day. I can procrastinate. So now we go back. We've broken it down into 3 groups. Now we go back to A, and then we prioritize A. That can help a lot just by taking that, what I'll call a baby step. I'm going to come back to that term a bit later on. Another way to look at this, I think, is to ask ourselves, if let's say we're looking at the A group, what are the musts here? This must be done versus the shoulds. Somebody told me I should do this, but do I really need to? Is it really going to make that big a difference in my business? Or I could do this. So the shoulds and the coulds, I think we need to separate the musts from the shoulds and the coulds. And go to the musts. Forget I should be at this conference, or I should send out this note. Yes, but what are the musts that are going to make your business move forward today? That's what I'm pushing for. Now we're narrowing down the overwhelming character, I hope.
In fact, my mentor also told me that, Anna, you should have 3 things, at the most 3 things must a day, because you're right. We have long list of tasks we have to do, but you have to, at the beginning of your day, you have to decide that you have 3 things. It is priority. You will not go to bed until you finish these 3 things. And Michael, you're right when you say what will bring my business, will push my business ahead. But again, you will not go to bed until you're done with these 3 things. You might complete a lot of other things between them.
But keep it, and it might be just 2 things. Maybe 3 is too many.
Yes, maybe you're right. Yes.
Depends on their size. But I want people to also think some of those musts, maybe one of those 3 is pretty small. It wouldn't take much. I find sometimes when I've been putting something off because I really don't want to have to talk to somebody about, is it going to be a tough conversation? That's the one I know maybe you need to go to first and get it out of the way. So that's a quick must. And if I force myself, it usually goes better than I thought it would. I'm done in 10 minutes, and now I've got the rest of the day for 2 more musts to get done, if you will. So we need to prioritize. What should come first, second, third, and fourth?
Yes, but Michael, if some of the tasks are too big, and when you're looking at the tasks, we get, again, we will push it to the B column instead of the A. And we know that this is very important. What should we do? Because a lot of times it paralyzes us. when we look at the task.
And I think part of the problem is that the task we look at is a huge task, and we're thinking of the endpoint. So I want to build an addition onto the plant. It's going to require a lot of planning and layout and design. All I'm thinking of is I want to get this addition done. Well, yeah, of course that's overwhelming. So much has to be done. So we have to break that down into the baby steps. See, I came back to my word. We have to break that down into the baby steps that will get us there. And maybe it's not getting the addition done. Maybe it's sitting down with an architect and talking about the possibilities of what we could do. Or maybe it's talking to the contractor and saying, what are the first things we're going to have to do where I have to make some decisions? But take it down to the baby step level, because it won't be so overwhelming when we've broken it down into smaller pieces. So endpoint outcome, yeah, I want the building addition added on. But short of that, I'd like to know what I'm going to do in that addition. I'd like to know what kind of space I might be thinking of. What different uses might I want? Do I want it for one use, or maybe one day a different use? How would I think about those things? And I need to talk to an expert about that. All right, I'm going to set an appointment to talk to an expert to get that thing done. Now I'm done. I can say I celebrate. I got that must done today. No, I don't have the addition done. That's 6 months from now, but I got one step done, and I'm going to feel good about it.
Yeah, that is the second ways you can manage your work overload. When you break your big task into a small, like Michael, you said it, baby steps. And so you focus one small step at the time. You have to talk to an expert first, or you have to do a research to see, like the survey for this building, or even market research. Like you said, do you need this particular building? But break it down. All these big tasks can be broken subtasks and subtasks, and then you check mark every single baby step of this big.
And I think let's say I need to do market research. I think how often, oh boy, that's a major undertaking right there. What if I just wrote some questions that I need to have answered through market research? I'm not going to do it. I just need to write those questions. I can do that in 15 minutes of creative work and feel that, oh, I got a step done. That's a baby step. That's not overwhelming to do, where getting that whole market research project done in the next 3 weeks is overwhelming when we first think of it. Just picking out the pieces. So write the questions today, tomorrow review the questions, add something else. I'm just going through again what you've said. We break it down into those small steps. They aren't overwhelming compared to that big overall, gee, I want this market research project finished, or whatever it might be.
And what about our third way we can manage the overwhelming workload?
Well, I think it helps sometimes to say, look, to get the momentum back that I had before I felt overwhelmed and decided I wanted to golf instead, which means I'm putting it all off, I'm procrastinating. What I need to do is to maybe focus on one thing first. What's one thing I could do that would relieve some of this pressure? It could be major or it could be minor. Major, I need to break it into a couple of baby steps, but pick one thing and go after it, and have the satisfaction of saying, today I did one thing that moved me forward. I had something I needed to do last week, struggled with it. I was looking at the big picture, of course. And then I sat down and said, no, let's just lay out what's got me going, or what's got me feeling overwhelmed. I want to get something started on it. So I did one thing. I wrote a couple of pieces I needed to have written, not finished, not polished. I just wanted to get words on paper. In 25 minutes, I had something that I could save on the computer and say, all right, that's done. I can move on. But now my momentum was there. I was over that hump of, oh, I just don't want to get started on that. It's so big. And we got past that.
And a lot of times we try to multitask, which is very wrong. And that even brings even more anxiety of what we are doing. So Michael, what you just said is focusing on one thing. It gives you satisfaction that you finished this, number one. Number two, your whole focus now is on only this thing. And when you focus on one thing at the time instead of multitasking, your whole senses go there and you're more productive, even if you, like you said, only 25 minutes, you put together 25 minutes. You know what? Put a timer on your phone, turn off your phone, turn off all your email notifications, and just focus on this thing and only this thing. You will feel much better.
And you gave a good hint of what we're going to talk about in our next episode as well. And I want to add to that by saying there's a time of the day to get this focus on one thing first completed, if you will. And we'll come back and talk about that in another episode.
Absolutely.
So, quick recap. We want to prioritize, get rid of the shoulds and coulds until you have time later in the day, but do the must first. Then think about those baby steps and pick a baby step or two to work on, because those you can get done. That's getting you past that sense of being overwhelmed. And third, pick one of those and get it done. And celebrate for a moment. Have another cup of coffee. Have a soda. Go pat somebody in the back and they won't know why. Doesn't matter. Celebrate. You've gotten something done. You're now past being overwhelmed. Keep doing this and you'll move forward.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in today. We hope we helped you with small business, for your small business to survive. We will be back next week with a new topic and set of ideas and suggestions to encourage you to make your business stronger.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.